शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय।
Chapter 1: The Story of Grinding Wheat and its Philosophical Significance. It was some time after 1910 that I went one fine morning to the masjid in Shirdi for having a darshan of Sai Baba. I was wonderstruck to see the following phenomenon. After washing his mouth and face, Sai Baba began to make preparations for grinding wheat. He spread a sack on the floor and thereon set a hand mill. He took some quantity of wheat in a winnowing fan and then, drawing up the sleeves of his kafni, robe, and taking hold of the peg of the hand mill, started grinding the wheat by putting a few handfuls of wheat in the upper opening of the mill and rotated it. I thought, what business Baba had with the grinding of wheat when he possessed nothing and stored nothing, and as he lived on alms? Some people who had come there thought likewise, but none had the courage to ask Baba what he was doing. Immediately, this news of Baba's grinding wheat spread into the village, and at once men and women ran to the masjid and flocked there to see Baba's act. 4 bold women from the crowd forced their way up and, pushing Baba aside, took forcibly the peg or handle into their hands and, singing Baba's leelas, started grinding. At first, Baba was enraged, but on seeing the women's love and devotion, he was much pleased and began to smile. While they were grinding, they began to think that Baba had no house, no property, no children, none to look after, and he lived on alms, and therefore he did not require any wheat flour for making bread or roti. What will he do with this big quantity of flour? Perhaps, as Baba is very kind, he will distribute the flour amongst us. Thinking in this way, and while singing, they finished the grinding, and after putting the hand mill aside, they divided the flour into 4 portions and began to remove them by taking 1 portion per head. Baba, who was calm and quiet till now, got wild and started abusing them, saying, "Ladies, have you gone mad? Whose father's property are you looting away? Have I borrowed any wheat from you so that you can safely take the flour? Now do this. Take the flour and throw it on the village borders." On hearing this, the women felt abashed and, whispering amongst themselves, went to the outskirts of the village and spread the flour as directed by Baba. I asked the Shirdi people, what was this that Baba did? They replied that as the cholera epidemic was spreading in the village, this was Baba's remedy against the same. It was not wheat that was ground, but cholera itself was ground to pieces and pushed out of the village. From this time onward, the cholera epidemic subsided and the people of the village were happy. Baba lived in Shirdi for about 60 years, and during this long period, he did the business of grinding almost every day. Not, however, the wheat alone, but the sins, the mental and physical afflictions, and the miseries of his innumerable devotees. The two stones of his mill consisted of karma and bhakti, the former being the lower one and the latter the upper one. The handle with which Baba worked the mill consisted of dhyan. It was the firm conviction of Baba that knowledge or self-realization is not possible unless there is the prior act of grinding of all our impulses, desires, sins, and of three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, and the ahankar, which is so subtle and therefore so difficult to get rid of. Do not be afraid. Hold fast to the handle of knowledge of this mill as I do, and do not wander far away from the same, but turn inward to the center, and you're sure to be saved. Bow to Shri Sai, peace be to all. Chapter 9. Tarkhad family, father and son. Lord Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita, "Whosoever devoutly offers to me a leaf, a flower, or a fruit or water of that pure-hearted man, I accept that pious offering." In the case of Sai Baba, if a devotee intended really to offer anything to Sai Baba, and if he afterwards forgot to offer the same, Baba reminded him or his friend about the offering and made him bring it to him, and then accepted it and blessed the devotee. Mr. Ramachandra Atmaram, alias Baba Saheb Tarkhad, formerly a Prarthana Samajist, was a staunch devotee of Sai Baba. His wife and son equally loved Baba, or perhaps more. It was once proposed that the Master Tarkhad should go with his mother to Shirdi and spend his summer vacation there, but the son was unwilling to go, as he thought that in case he left his home in Bandra, the worship of Sai Baba in the house would not be properly attended to, as his father, being a Prarthana Samajist, would not care to worship Sai Baba's picture. However, on his father's giving an assurance under oath that he would perform the worship exactly as his son was doing, the mother and the son left for Shirdi on Friday night. That evening and next Sunday, everything went on well. The following Monday was a working day, and it also passed well. Mr. Tarkhad, who had never performed puja like this in all his life, felt great confidence within himself that everything was passing on quite satisfactorily as per the promise given to the son. Next Tuesday, he performed the morning puja as usual and left for his work. Coming home at noon, he found that there was no prasad, sugar, to partake of when the meal was served. He asked the servant cook, who told him that there was no offering made that morning and that he had completely forgotten to perform that part of the puja. At this, he left his seat and prostrated himself before the shrine, expressed his regret at the same time, chiding Baba for the want of guidance in making the whole affair a matter of mere drill. Then he wrote a letter to his son, stating the facts and requested him to lay it at Baba's feet and ask his pardon for his neglect. This happened in Bandra at about Tuesday noon. At about the same time, when the noon Aarti was about to commence in Shirdi, Baba said to Mrs. Tarkhad, "Mother, I have been to your house in Bandra with a view to have something to eat. I found the door locked. I somehow got an entry and found to my regret that Mr. Tarkhad had left nothing to eat for me. So I have returned unappeased." The lady did not understand this, but the son, who was close by, understood the whole thing, that there was something wrong with the puja in Bandra, and he therefore requested Baba to permit him to go home. Baba refused this, but allowed him to perform puja there. Then the son wrote a letter to his father stating all that took place at Shirdi and implored his father not to neglect the puja at home. Both these letters crossed each other and were delivered to the respective parties the next day. Is this not wonderful? Bow to Shri Sai, peace be to all.